I'm Bubble Tea Kristin, and welcome to today's very special episode. We are here in San Jose, Costa Rica, which is located in Central America. We're going to be visiting Andrew and his bubble tea shop, Bubbly Tea Club. So much for inviting me out today. I really appreciate it. San Jose, Costa Rica, this is so exciting. Really, it really is. And just so everyone knows at home, we're at a really busy shopping area, so there's like motorcycles, people walking by. Not much we can do about that. Like, there goes one right now. So, Andrew, tell us a little bit about Bubbly Tea Club.
Well, first of all, you're very welcome here in our shop. We're Bubbly Tea Club. We are located in Escazú, San Jose, Costa Rica. Costa Rica is a country in Central America, and we are here in a very busy area in the capital, that is San Jose. Bubbly Tea Club was born, the idea was born many years ago. When my father, we used to work exporting coffee. He met an associate, a Taiwanese guy. They came to our home and they prepared us the bubble tea. It was the first time that we were seeing what a bubble tea is, and we were very shocked and pleased with the flavor and the little bubble tapioca pearls. And within jokes, they began to say that they should put a shop here in Costa Rica. But it was just a joke. Here we are, mid-2021, with our shop, and it's a family business. The only persons working here right now, it's my father, my middle brother, my little brother, and me.
That is super cool. I mean, you guys really are taking the term family business, and like it literally is your family.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Working with family, it's very nice and also very challenging. Very nice to see your whole family, your whole group pointing towards the direction that is make the business grow and work. But there are different point of views that create conflict more often than ever, right? We all have the same objective in mind, and we make everything work so that the business can grow, right?
That's really cool. And you know, I've been here enough times now where I think I've literally met every single family member.
Yeah.
So I met you the first time I came in, and your dad, and then I met your middle brother, Nacho.
Nacho.
And then your youngest brother I just met recently. Well, I'm really happy that you guys are successful to begin with, but just the fact that you guys are open and you're in business says a lot.
Exactly.
Because as I walk around, I drive around, I notice a lot of places are closed, but you guys are open and you're going strong and you're doing well, and that definitely says something about being family run as well, because I do notice here in Costa Rica the family run business are actually run by their family.
Exactly.
And it's so cool that you guys have 4 people of your family to be able to dedicate to this business.
We went to Taiwan with the friend of my father. The idea we wanted to create when we visited to Taiwan, my father and his associate made some arrangements. So we trained there. We learned the processes and the cooking styles of the pearls and the tapioca, the preparation of the tea, and we brought it all back here. And when we were looking for the shop and to create our business, the main focus was to replicate the same flavors and the same techniques and processes that people found in Taiwan, which is the place where bubble tea was created, right? It's been a process of introducing tea in a place like Costa Rica. Costa Rica is a coffee country. They don't consume or drink tea at all. Tea time here is coffee time. In order for us to introduce this type of product in a place where you only know coffee, it's been very interesting and a very difficult process. But it's been enjoyable because bubble tea itself, it's a product that generates interest. When you bring the product and you see the little tapioca pearls in the bottom, people are like, oh wow, what is that? And it generates interest. It's a product that it sells itself. We have been educating people and making people aware of what the tapioca is, what the tea is, the components of the tea, the flavors of the tea. It's been a very enjoyable process and hard process.
Yeah. And you know, the other thing that I noticed is that when I came to Costa Rica, I was expecting it to be more like, you know, maybe America or Europe, where bubble tea is really taking off. There's loads of businesses. And when I arrived, I was surprised to see there were only 2 businesses here, and you were one of them. But I did notice that kind of bubble tea is very underground, right? So there's a few places around Costa Rica you can get it, but they're not actual like bubble tea shops. So you really have set the precedent. Like you really have come in strong. You've got a strong brand. Your drinks are great, and I really feel like that brings light to bubble tea.
In Costa Rica, there are few places that you can find bubble tea, but we are ones that have a huge variety of flavors, and when you can experience bubble tea, like you will experience it in Taiwan.
So in opening your business then, how were people receptive to it? Were they really confused? Were they open? How did you do marketing to get people to come in? How did that kind of work for you?
Well, when we started, people didn't have any idea of what bubble tea was. We reached out to people through social media. We paid some advertisement in social media so that the image of a bubble tea showed up in people's phones, right? And they were like, what is that? They located us, they visited us, and that was the question time. The question time frame, I like to put it, because every person that came into the shop, we have to explain them what was bubble tea. And it was like a very fun time because people, when they see the pearls, they're like estranged by it. They're like, what is this? How does it taste? And they're like a little scary of trying it, right? But once they try it, they all go like, it tastes nice. Yeah, that was like a very manual process in order to get people to know bubble tea. But it was worth, because each person that tried the bubble tea, the tapioca pearls, they liked it.
The other thing that I'm super excited about for you guys in your business is that you are founders of bubble tea in San Jose, and you started small, right, just across the street over there, and within a matter of months you guys then all of a sudden opened a bigger unit. So not only did you like found bubble tea here, but you guys did such a good job in sharing amazing drinks to the community that you had a huge amount of people come to you. They liked your drinks, they liked your business, and then boom, next thing you know, you're in a bigger unit. That is awesome.
Expect to see Bubbly Tea Club in the near future in every shopping center or every province in Costa Rica.
I want to ask you about Taiwan then. Were there any experiences that were really memorable to you?
Oh yeah, Taiwan is a very beautiful country. The time we stayed there was very memorable. One of the funny things about Taiwan that impacted us the most was that on every corner, every 2 shops, it's a bubble tea shop.
I noticed that too.
Yeah, it's insane the amount of shops that are in Taiwan, and they are full of people all the time. The vast amount of bubble tea shops that are there. We were there with the associate of my father. He was introducing us to the big chains in Taiwan, and we tried all the bubble teas. And that was one of the reasons that motivates us to bring bubble tea here to Costa Rica, because if that's very popular there in Taiwan, maybe it would work here, right? Also, the food in Taiwan is very tasty, yeah.
What was your favorite drink or most memorable drink that you tried while you were there?
It was a drink that for us here in Costa Rica, it sounds kind of weird. We ate avocado in a salad, and it's solid food. With a fork, you eat it, right? Mm-hmm. And they made a tea of avocado with bubble tea. And I was like, that sounds weird, I have to try it. I tried it and it tasted really good. I didn't think it was going to taste that good.
Well, it's interesting because when I go to the farmers markets here, avocados are so plentiful. I mean, you can get a whole bag full for a few dollars of the equivalents. So I love coming here and just eating avocado every single day. Now, do you think that if you added that drink to your menu, people would be like, oh, that's kind of weird, or do you think people would be into it, or?
It would be weird for Costa Ricans. Maybe foreigners will say, oh, you have the avocado drink. I will be like, yeah, we have it. But for Costa Ricans, it will be weird.
Here it's just like normal, like, oh, avocado. Why would you put it in a drink? That doesn't make any sense. But you're right, American people, one of the first bubble teas that I did have was an avocado milk tea. And I really liked it. But it was so difficult to find it because it is such a niche item.
Exactly.
And so, yeah, if you have a lot of American people coming in here, they'd be like, oh, wow, avocado milk tea. They'd get really excited. But I could see that the Ticos would be like, oh, I don't know about that.
Fun story about a drink that we offer here in Bubbly Tea Club is we have a flavor called kumquat. I don't know if you know what kumquat.
I know what that is, yes.
Yeah, Ticos don't have any idea what kumquat is. When a foreigner comes in and see, oh, you have kumquat, yeah, we're like, yeah, we offer the kumquat, right? But when a Costa Rican comes in, they're like scared to try a new thing.
So Andrew, I know in 2015 you guys had the idea of starting your business and the idea of bubble tea, and you were kind of on the fence. But then when you actually made that decision as a family to start the business of Bubbly Tea Club, how long did it take, right? So from concept to getting all of the ingredients and all of the products to actually opening the door and serving customers, what was the time frame like?
Since 2015, we were working on the concept, right? We wanted Bubbly Tea Club to be appealing, to stand out visually on what people saw in a shop that they say, oh, that's a very nice place. So we started working since then in the concept on 2015, but we were on the fence. It was nothing serious, right? However, 2017, we were working with our providers and people over there in Taiwan. We had to get some permits here in Costa Rica to sell the products that we offer here in Bubbly Tea Club. In Costa Rica, that's a very tedious and large process. In order to get all the requirements and the approval of the government, it took around a year and a half. Let's say, yeah, it's very slowly here. Finally, we decided on a color palette and a logo that we liked and agree on. In 2018, me and my brother, we were working at the time. We quit our job so we can fully dedicate to the project of the business. We make that leap of faith, right? 2019, we were searching for the right center shop, and we found the small shop down the street. We started there, and the rest is history, right? We're here right now and hoping to keep growing, right?
That is so interesting, and I'm glad you shared that with us, because up until now, a lot of people that I speak with and I tend to interview with, it only takes a matter of months, but things are done differently in every country.
Exactly.
And so obviously in Costa Rica, it takes much longer to get from idea through the process to actually opening. And so that's something that a lot of people, it's good to know that every country has different laws and hoops that you need to go through. And especially for a product like this, because you're importing these products from Taiwan. So like you said, you need to get approval from the government. They need to be, it's a new product on the market, it's these drinks, so they need to be regulated. The government needs to come in and make sure that you're not selling some weird thing. Like,
exactly.
It's something that people can have potentially on a daily basis. And so that's really interesting. That's really great information.
One of the reasons that we are taking it slowly in order to open different shops is because here in Escazú, it's a district, right? If you go to another district, it's another set of requirements that you need to present or have in order to open on another district. It's not only a money investment, but a time investment to open another shop. The goal is there. We're just being very careful and cautious when we expand our business. My father, my two little brothers, and myself, we dedicate 100% of the time to the business to make it grow. A lot of businesses have been hit. Our product here in Bubbly Tea Club has been greatly accepted. People that know about bubble tea, they evaluate the pearls and the making of the tea, and they are very pleased when they try our product. All the original flavors and techniques that come to create a good bubble tea for the people. We are very pleased and proud of the product that we are presenting to people, and we hope that soon every Costa Rican, every Tico enjoys a Bubbly Tea Club bubble tea.
Yes, can you please explain to our viewers what is a Tico? Because I know, but I'm sure they probably don't know what a Tico is.
Well, Tico is the way a Costa Rican is called. Tico comes from a diminutive, because way back when we were fighting for independence, this area, the people talked in very diminutive. So the Tico at the end of the word, it's like saying that something is small. So if I say the bubbly Tico, the little bubble tea. Costa Ricans talked like that, so they tagged them as Ticos because they speak Tico, and that's the way we all came to know as Tico. But Tico means Costa Rican, so if you say a Tico, just say to him, "Pura vida Tico," and he'll know what you're talking about.
And do you notice a taste difference between the Ticos and the foreigners when they come in?
Foreigners, they come here with a very high expectation, and they always say when they are buying the tea, I hope it tastes as I tasted back in Thailand or in the US. I hope it tastes the same, right? And they are very high demanded, and usually they leave very happy because it fills their expectations. But the Costa Ricans, the first time that they try a bubble tea, they're scared. They see the pearls and they're scared of trying it. But they end up liking it, yeah. But the foreigners, they are very tall orders to fulfill, yeah.
Well, I can definitely say from experience, I've tried so many of your drinks now that I've enjoyed every single one of them. But I especially love your boba, your tapioca pearls. They're so good. You guys just really make them on point. So I'm really happy, like I said, that you guys are bringing not only just bubble tea to Costa Rica, but really good premium bubble tea to Costa Rica. That's great because it sets that precedence and that expectation for other people to have that really good experience when they get bubble tea.
You're very welcome.
And then there's also a drink that we're gonna be learning how to make at the next video, which, how do you pronounce it?
It's called Té Moreno.
Té Moreno. So you're going to be showing our viewers how to make that drink, and you're going to be kind of sharing about it, which is awesome. So make sure you stay tuned for part 2, where Andrew will be showing us how to make Té Moreno. In knowing that you're one of the only bubble tea shops in Costa Rica, how do you get your supplies? Do you just go to the market and you can buy them? Is there an import company? Do you import them directly from Taiwan yourself? How does that work for you?
That's a very good question, because in order to achieve what our goal is, to replicate Taiwanese flavors, the only way we can do it is to get our products directly from Taiwan.
Okay.
It's very challenging because we need to plan ahead. It's not like we can go for a 30-minute drive to get our products. We need to plan 4 to 6 months ahead.
Okay, that's very 4 to 6 months ahead. You have to plan.
Yeah,
wow.
Exactly. So it's a very challenging way to run a business, but it's in our goal to replicate that flavors, and that's the only way we can do it. It takes a lot of planning, a lot of prediction, because you don't know what's gonna happen with the product that you have in store, or you don't know what's gonna happen in the 4 or 6 months of transit, what will happen to the product in the process of getting from Taiwan to here. It's very challenging and difficult, but that's the way we do it in Bubbly Tea Club.
Yeah, got it, I understand. And also, you know, not only ordering enough so you don't run out, but not ordering too much to where it expires and you have to throw it away.
Exactly.
These powders and syrups and boba, they have a shelf life.
Exactly.
Before they're even open. Yeah, that's a lot of planning on your part.
Normally, the products that we get have a year in order to expire. So we have that time frame to move between orders and to plan ahead when the other order is going to arrive and the amount of inventory and products that we have on store.
You usually place shipments once a year, twice a year, 4 times a year?
We have only been on the market for a year and a half. It will be 2 to 3 times a year that we make orders to our provider.
And it seems like this unit, you have maybe storage upstairs. Here you can actually store it in the shop, right? Because it's much bigger.
We have a special place where we store the products. And when we were in the other store that was a little bit smaller, we used to rent a warehouse. Yeah, because it was a lot of product and it needed to be saved under certain requirements, right? So we went to rent a warehouse so that we can put the products in there.
And this is also probably another reason, tying back to what you were saying about how long it took you to set up your business, because you're not just buying products and selling drinks, you are importing products. So not only does that take, you know, up to 6 months, but then all of the government regulations for importing those products, you had to go through hoops within this country to get them approved, to then be able to import them as well. So I can see why that took a long time.
Exactly, yeah. It took a long time because, yeah, it's not just going to the shop and buying it. Yeah, it's a lot of permits, a lot of regulations that need to be met. Thankfully, we are we are able to offer the product right now.
Perhaps one of the challenges for you before you even opened, knowing that you had that 6-month delay and needing to import these products, how did you create your menu? How did you come up with the flavors? How did you know what people were gonna like and not like without having all of this stock left over and you're like, oh, well, that flavor wasn't successful. So how did you overcome that?
When we were in Taiwan, we tried incredibly amount of flavors, right? We were drinking bubble tea all day and all night. So we realized, because we didn't know, that you can make a bubble tea mainly of any flavor imaginable. When we came here to Costa Rica, we were like, we cannot just put any flavor in the menu because Ticos will be, I don't know, mind blown. They wouldn't know what to choose, right? So we chose specific flavors that are familiar to Costa Ricans. We established 4 lines. We have the milk tea, the fruit tea, premium teas, and just tea. We chose the flavors that are most familiar to Ticos so that they are not so scared to try something new. If I bring the avocado bubble tea, they are not going to try it. But if I bring something very familiar to them, like strawberry
yep.
or vanilla or chocolate or taro, that is very popular here, they are going to be willing and able to try it, and they will not be so surprised or scared to try something new. So the selection of the flavors was to see what's more familiar with the Costa Ricans, and slowly bringing flavors like kumquat to see if they are willing to try the waters.
Your first menu was a little more compact. It only offered maybe a few items and flavors that you knew people were for sure gonna like.
Exactly.
Then maybe your next shipment, then you're like, okay, let's throw in a few other things.
Exactly.
And we know these will also be good, but we just didn't want to put them in the initial menu.
Exactly.
So it's like you're kind of growing your menu over time and learning what the tastes are and what people are willing to try as well.
And that will also make our community and our followers a little more on edge, because they know that every certain time there will be a new flavor added, and they are going to be willing to try it because they already know that all our other flavors are good. So when there's another announcement that there's a new flavor coming, they will be more willing to try something new.
That's a really great approach, and I think that's a very successful approach as well.
Yeah.
So before we wrap up, I just wanted to ask one more question. Is there anything that you had wanted to know before you opened, or anything that you would wish you had known before you had opened?
Boba is made fresh, and boba takes time. Opening day, we ran out of tapioca 30 minutes from from our opening time, and boba takes around 2 hours to make. We knew that. We were not prepared for that situation, right? We didn't expect so much people to come to the shop and try boba. It was a very painful 2 hours telling people to just wait for the tapioca to be ready. That's one of the things that I wish we were prepared for in our opening day. I think it's very relatable for people who own bubble tea shops, because it's something that happens, right? Boba can go very fast, yeah.
Yep.
That helps because it gives you experience,
yeah,
and lets you time manage your business hours in a way in which you are always having bubble and tapioca made fresh. That is very important.
That's a really good insight and really good tip. Okay, Andrew, thanks so much. Appreciate the interview. Excited to learn how to make té morena.
Exactly.
Awesome. And thank you so much for joining in. Please be sure to click that like button, subscribe, and we will see you for part 2.